What if I told you that the moment you stopped needing anyone was the moment you finally began to live? Here's what they don't tell you about becoming whole. It doesn't arrive with fireworks. It doesn't come from the perfect relationship. It doesn't hide at the bottom of someone else's approval. It arrives in the quiet, when you stop chasing completion in someone else's eyes, when you stop performing your worthiness like a trained circus animal, when you finally understand that you were never a puzzle missing pieces. You discover something terrifying and liberating. You were never broken. You were simply unfolding. And the people who love you, the real ones, they don't complete you. They witness you. They don't fill your empty spaces. They celebrate your fullness. The day the needing ended was the day the loving finally began. You are not a cup waiting to be filled. You are the ocean. You always were. But she didn't know that yet. This is the story of how she remembered. She has everything. The marble countertops, the walk-in closet cataloged by season and shade, the kind of apartment that appears in lifestyle magazines with the caption, "Living the Dream." But here's what they don't photograph. The way her breath fogs the glass, the way she traces her own outline in the condensation and doesn't recognize the shape. This is what happens when you've spent your entire life collecting people like trophies, hoping one of them will finally make you feel whole. She was 7 when she learned the equation. Love equals performance. Approval equals perfection. She was 12 when she got her first A-. She learned that love has conditions, and so she built herself into someone lovable. The perfect daughter, the perfect girlfriend, the perfect employee. Each mask layered over the last until she forgot which face was hers underneath. But here's the cruelest joke. The harder she reached, the emptier she swiped right on validation. She double-tapped on worthiness. She refreshed her inbox like it was a slot machine that might finally pay out the jackpot of enough. There's a Buddhist teaching, though she'd never heard it. When you mistake a mirage for water, every step toward it deepens your thirst. Her hands trembling as she opens each dating app one final time. Instagram, Bumble, Hinge, delete, delete, delete. Her phone screen now empty except for default apps. The reflection of her face in the black glass, finally just hers. It happened on a Tuesday, the kind of unremarkable day that changes everything. She was crossing Fifth Avenue when her hand just opened, the phone tumbling through space, city lights refracting through its screen like a kaleidoscope, the crack of glass on concrete, crystalline, irreversible, the shattered screen on wet pavement, each fragment reflecting a different streetlight, a different lie she'd told herself. He completes me. I'm nothing without them. Love will save me. She didn't bend to pick it up. For the first time in her life, she just kept walking. The subway was empty, not empty like Sunday morning, empty like the end of the world. And for the first time in years, she could hear herself think. In that tunnel, she heard the voice she'd been drowning out with notifications. Not the voice that said, "You're not enough," but the one underneath, the one that whispered, "What if you were never broken at all?" She found herself on a park bench, didn't remember walking there, but there she was, watching sparrows. And here's what she noticed. They didn't need each other, but they chose each other anyway. They didn't peck each other's eyes out for the biggest piece. They didn't abandon the flock when the crumbs ran out. They just existed together, complete unto themselves, but richer in communion. The revolution didn't announce itself with trumpets. It arrived in steam. She used to grab coffee from the bodega while triple-checking Instagram, burned tongue, cold brew, scrolling through other people's performed happiness while hers leaked out through her fingers. But this morning, she made tea. Not for the aesthetic, not for the story, just for the ritual of it. She watched the steam rise, and for the first time in memory, she wasn't waiting for a notification to tell her the moment was real. The old version of her would have swallowed it. Actually, it is. She didn't raise her voice, didn't apologize for the space she occupied, just spoke her truth like it was the only language she knew anymore. And here's what happened. Some people rippled with her, some splashed resistance back, but she remained calm at the center because she wasn't speaking to be liked. She was speaking because the truth was hers to speak. She'd bought the plants 3 boyfriends ago, watered them whenever she remembered, which was whenever he was busy and she needed something to do with her hands. But after they'd wither, she'd blame herself. I kill everything I touch. Tonight, she looked at them differently. She repotted the basil, trimmed the dead leaves from the thyme, watered them not with guilt, but with intention. Nobody was watching. Nobody was grading her. The plants didn't care if she was lovable. They just responded to consistent care. And in tending them, She learned to tend herself. She knew it was him before she pressed the button. The old version would have buzzed him up immediately, would have spent 30 minutes perfecting her makeup, would have rehearsed what to say to make him stay. She pressed it. He looked exactly the same. Same cologne, same apologetic eyes, same bouquet of bodega roses, stems too short, meaning too calculated. I was wrong, he said. I need you. I can't do this without you. She looked at him, really looked, and she saw not the man who completed her, but a man who needed someone to complete him. I don't need you to complete me anymore, but I'll always cherish the chapters we wrote together. She was alone, not the alone that aches, the alone that expands. She danced, not for Instagram, not for him, not even for herself in the future who might remember this moment. She danced because right now she was alive, and alive was enough. She placed the river stone there at dawn, found it yesterday in the park where the sparrows taught her communion. It fit her palm perfectly, palm. Beyond the window, the city moved. Cars, people, needs, wants, thousands of voices screaming, complete me. But the stone didn't sway. She found herself at the window again. Same rain, same city, same reflection. But nothing was the same, because she finally understood what that voice in the subway tunnel had been trying to tell her. The wholeness she'd been chasing. It was never out there. It was here. It was always here. The morning she made tea without checking her phone. The afternoon she spoke her truth without apologizing. The evening she watered plants for no one but the plants. The night she closed the door on someone who needed her, because she no longer needed to be needed. Small revolution, quiet rebellions. And then she smiled. Not the smile she'd practiced in mirrors for job interview. Not the smile she'd offered men who would leave her. Not the smile that said, please love me, I'll be whatever you need. The smile that said, I am enough. Do you remember what she thought that first night? Standing at this same window, surrounded by everything and feeling nothing? She'd whispered to the rain, when will someone make me whole? And now she knew the answer. No one was coming. And that was the most beautiful thing she'd ever learned. Because when you stop waiting to be saved, you discover you were never drowning. When you stop searching for your other half, you realize you were always whole. And when you stop needing, you finally learn how to love. Not the love that demands, not the love that depletes, not the love that says, complete me or leave me, but the love that says, I am full, and my fullness makes space for yours. This is what the ocean knows, that it doesn't need the rivers to feel complete. But when the rivers come, the ocean welcomes them, not because it's empty, but because it has room. The day the needing ended was the day you remembered you were never a cup waiting to be filled. You were the ocean. You always were. You were never broken. You were simply unfolding. If someone you love needs to hear this, send it to them. Not for likes, for liberation,